Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm going to make a set of Hexagon coasters, so I figured I would record it in case they turn out cool. So I did speed this up because it's boring to watch 4 coasters, I think. So that gray house paint is an old oopsie paint that I got like over 2 years ago on the Lowe's or Home Depot shelf. I don't even know if I could tell you what it is. I think it's Bare, but whatever. It's semi-gloss, which is not my favorite. I prefer eggshell or satin, but I'm going to use it and get it out of here. So that's what that is. And I'm sorry that you're kind of zoomed out a little bit because I was afraid of autofocus. So that's Fluorescent Green from Colourarte. These are Vivid Intense Fluid Acrylics. I have a link for Colourarte in my description box below. You can save 20% with my coupon code. That is Sweet Amethyst from Colourarte. It's a primary element. I had just been messing with these paints and trying to thicken up, that's Fluorescent Blue from Colourarte, trying to thicken up some of my colors that were too thin. So while I had them out, I went ahead and grabbed some coasters. And that is Fluorescent Purple from Colourarte. That's Fluorescent Blue Green from Colourarte. And Popping Bubbles. A little bit more fluorescent green. A little bit of fluorescent, a little bit of Cobalt turquoise from Golden. And we're using Lamp Black Cell Activator with Australian Floetrol. I have all my colors listed below, but the Cell Activator is using M Gram. I'm using the world's smallest blower because it works great for coasters. And I messed up my blow in the beginning there. I have way too much paint on this coaster. So what led to this color combination is I tend to have too many paints mixed up all the time. And I like fluorescent green and like lime green and all those types of colors. But I just don't tend to use them a whole bunch unless I use them in like this kind of a color pattern with blues and that kind of stuff. And I was like, I have this terrible pattern of only using like all the jewel tones of things I have mixed up. And then I have all of these like random orange and green colors that I let get thick. And anyway, so while I have all this stuff out on my table and I was already using some jewel tones for a different bloom, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make some coasters and I'm going to use lime green or fluorescent green or whatever. And it always looks great in colors like this, especially with a black cell activator. So these turn out really beautiful. I haven't resined them yet, but they dried beautifully, even with this thick pillow paint. But, you know, it's only so exciting to watch somebody make coasters. So I sped these up. And I have this bad habit of like only doing one on camera so I can remember the way I layered the colors. And then like the most beautiful of the whole set I won't have on film at all, and I'll be super bummed. So I went ahead and did all 4. These will go up on our Etsy shop when they're finished. I always get questions about where I got my Hexagon coasters. So these, here's a little close-up for you. Beautiful. And that little Amethyst Queen just adds just the right amount of sparkle. Okay, here comes the second one. So these white ones I got from Home Depot, but I didn't get them in the store. I actually paid to have them delivered. And so not all the stores carry them. And I've had them for a long time. And I think at the time, because I was going to have to spend to have them delivered, I had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 boxes of them. Here's the thing that bugs me about them. They're not like perfectly flat. So if your paint is thin as it's drying, it will shift sometimes on these. I do have some that are perfectly flat from Floor and Decor, and they're black, but they're about 3 or 4 times as much as these, so I haven't used them yet. But these are great. It's just that you have to prepare for the fact that they're not perfectly flat, and some of your stuff might shift on them. So if you can, you know, be flexible, they're useful. But yeah. That's a long explanation about coasters, but I get that question almost every time I post anything with a hexagon shape, like where did you get the tiles? And, you know, when you're first learning to do blooms, you don't want to waste a bunch of supplies. So you want to do coasters and stuff like that. And Hexagon coasters are always popular and people always like them. So I would want to know too. So sorry about my big old head. I messed up that blow. So you see what I'm trying to do here is catch where there's some cell activator left and spread that out a little bit better and break it up some in the middle. What I'm using to break it up in the middle is not a straw, it's a turkey baster. And so the bottom is kind of the perfect width. Straw, in my opinion, is too narrow. So the bottom of the turkey baster works great. So yeah. I tend to just use, even though I'm always practicing my blow, I think the world's smallest blower just works great on coasters, and so sometimes I kind of just stick to that. So I'll show you a little close-up of this guy once we get enough paint off. Man, I can see that he was not centered now that I'm looking at this. It's funny the things you can see when you're editing a video that you can't see when it's right in front of you, but whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm getting it so it doesn't drip on me. There's that one. All right, here we go. Using up some of this gray paint. It's way too much paint. Whatever. It's so thick that it just like came out of there like crazy. All right, fluorescent green. It is a beautiful green. It really is. I mean, I have a primary element that's kind of like a lime green that I might do similar colors with because I have it mixed up. I am so determined to use up some of my older paints that I have mixed up too. I just don't have a lot of time to paint right now. So when I do, I try to just like, hey, well, you've got the mess out. What else can you do with these colors that you already have out? That fluorescent blue-green is just fabulous. And I love that it's a little bit different than the Cobalt Teal. I bet you I could actually make Cobalt Teal with that fluorescent blue-green by adding a smidge of white, titanium white. Might be a project for another day. But those Vivid Intense fluid acrylics are amazing. If you do blooms and you like the golden fluid acrylics and all that, the ones from Colourarte are amazing, and they're priced well, and there's so many colors now. It's really quite incredible. I'm so excited that Leslie invented or created that line. I think they're amazing. I love fluid acrylics because I primarily do blooms, and they work so much better from a consistency perspective than having to over thin down a tube paint. And I mean, I still use tube paints, but the fact that she's created so many colors and so many of them are my favorite colors anyway, it just makes it so much easier. And they're so smooth, and I mean, just very high quality. Look at that one. That one's pretty best so far. All right, last but not least, the third one I think so far is my favorite. So don't forget you can save 20% on Colourarte using Mandy1120. And one thing that is super exciting is Leslie's actually just increased kind of a create your own coupon or bonus on the Colourarte website. So the more you spend, the more discount you earn. So make sure to use my code so you can get additional savings. But that's always a huge win for someone like me. I'm big about saving money. And so if you're like, hey, I'm going to get this new set and I think I'm going to go ahead and get some resin art or some primary elements at the same time, you're going to save more by doing all of that in one order. And of course, you're going to save on shipping too. So that's super, super fun. And you could team it with a friend and go halvesies, save more, and then, split the shipping. So, collaborate with your art friends. I also do, I use Australian Floetrol for my cell activator, and I get that from Pixel Paint Designs, and I have a discount of Mandy10, all caps. The link is listed below, and her prices are amazing for Australian Floetrol. It sells out quick anywhere in the United States, but she restocks, She runs sales pretty often, so definitely check that out. That's also the same place I get boom gels, and so definitely worth checking out. So I think I'm digging this one so far. I have some annoying bubbles in that pillow paint, but I'll show you a close-up, and thanks for hanging out, and let me know what you think of these. Do you like them as much as I do? And do you like seeing things like coasters? I mean, I always record anyway because I want to be able to remember what I did, but some people are like, oh, coasters, humbug. But I'm like, I'm gonna do coasters to use up paint. I sell a lot of coasters. I can't keep them stocked in my Etsy shop. So I'm gonna keep doing them, so I'm probably gonna film them. I just try to keep them short because, you know, it gets dull to watch after a while. So here's the final one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.